I usually like this dude's content, and I'm not a fan of JJK and have trashed it multiple times. But this short, NC, the fuck is this nonsense?
Literally everything up until this moment was bullshit. The chapter literally opens with Sukuna climbing up a Jacob's ladder. The first time that happened to him, it hurt him so badly he had to beg Hana to stop and trick her into believing that she was hurting Megami.
I wonder what the two arms are doing. It's almost like she needs her arms to use the attack properly, or at least control its direction at full power. And oh, look at that! One of her arms is missing, so it'd probably be only half as powerful as before. And it's almost like Sukuna explains this in the fucking chapter itself.
And the second time, it stunned and burned him to the point where Yuji was able to strike at the barrier between his and Megami's souls.
That's not even close to what happened in that chapter. The scene you're showing was before Yuta did Jacob's Ladder, and the only reason he got damaged from the attack was because Itadori and Yuta's ghost thing was restraining Sukuna. And even after getting hit, Sukuna was able to break the barrier while in Jacob's Ladder and take down Yuta. So you can't even argue the attack stunned him. If anything, Itadori and Yuta's ghost thing stunned him more than Jacob's Ladder did.
For some reason, the third time he gets hit with it, he's able to just climb up it using debris like it's doodle jump.
Not only is it only half as powerful as before, since her arm is missing, and both are needed to use the full power of the ladder as shown with her first use, Sukuna literally explains in the chapter that he's able to do so because unlike Yuta's copy, she has to make sure the attack doesn't hit Itadori and Toto as well. Also, since we saw in Yuta's version Sukuna be able to still attack and move under the copied ladder, it makes sense for Sukuna to be moving in this weaker version of the attack since it'd only be half as powerful as before. Also, something just hit me while scripting this. The first time Sukuna got hit by the attack, the one where he goes all burned and shit, that was when he just fused with Megami, so he was incomplete then. Since then, he not only got all but one of his fingers back, Yuta having the other one, and we've seen how much of a power boost those give him as shown with how much he outclassed Jogo in the Shibuya incident after eating 10 of the damn things. He's also awakened his true form. Sure, he's heavily damaged from all the fights up to that point, but he's still much stronger than he was when he was first hit by the attack, when he was his imperfect self.
Then the explanation we're given is that it's weaker because Hana only has one arm. What does this have to do with her arm?
Because that's how she uses the attack. She holds the trumpet and then blows into it. Since she's down an arm, she has to use a weaker version of the trumpet in order to wield it effectively. Now, you could argue that she could use a prosthetic or an equivalent like Toto does with Boogie Woogie, and maybe you'd have a point. But even then, as shown with Yuta's attempt at maximum output, and reminder, Yuta is stated to have more cursed energy than a lot of sorcerers, so it could be argued that his attempt is stronger than Hana's second attempt, Sukuna wasn't even stunned by the attack and was able to break the barrier and repel those three. So even if the prosthetic counted as a replacement arm and she could use it at full power, it still wouldn't work at killing Sukuna, because it failed to do so when Yuta, a much stronger sorcerer, again, tried it.
That's like saying Inumaki's cursed speech is weaker because he has one arm now.
Except as shown twice with Hana's attempt at Jacob's Ladder, she needs to use her arms to hold the trumpet that activates the technique. Inumaki needs his vocal cords and tongue to use his. Your comparison doesn't work here. The only way it would work is if Inumaki lost his vocal cords or tongue. Then yeah, it'd only work halfway.
But don't worry, Kasana's not in any danger because Toto saves the day. How? We don't know. He supposedly used his last Boogie Woogie last chapter to put her in position, and it's never explained.
The panel before it showcased the building and an effect indicating a jump, and then the next panel showcases Toto blocking the black flash, basically implying that Toto got to that spot by jumping. Additionally, Sukuna was already in the air about to attack Hana, so why would this panel be Sukuna jumping and not someone like Toto jumping over to save her? In other words, he didn't use Boogie Woogie, and given how this chapter indicates obvious shit like the Jacob's Ladder technique not working at full power because Hana's missing an arm, wouldn't they also indicate that he used Boogie Woogie to get there if that was the case, and not something like a jump? Especially when in the same panel, the bell is not even amongst the debris field, meaning he couldn't have used it anyways? Now, you could argue, well, how did he reach Hana in time? But outside of plot convenience, I honestly got nothing for that. But at the very least, I disproved that he used Boogie Woogie in this bit, so the most you'd have is, how would he be able to get there in time? I don't fucking know, Gay is on bath salts or something. But at the very least, we know he didn't use Boogie Woogie. The panel indicates that shit.
Because we got this, no one's talking about those other points.
No one's talking about these points because either the chapter explained it away like with Hana's case, or implied what's happening with paneling. Hell, I'd argue, why the fuck didn't Yuji use his domain expansion until this point if he did have it? Because it's not like he didn't have any moments to do so given how many times he was able to catch Sukuna off guard. But I'm sure they'll explain that away next issue, or just hand wave it away because, hey, it looks cool. I think that last sentence should tell you how I feel about JJK. Well, I got no issue with those who enjoy the series, and frankly more power to those people. To me, it's a garbage manga with garbage characters and garbage writing. Easily one of the worst shonen I've read in over a decade. But you know what's also garbage? Spreading misinformation. That's the only reason I did this video. Because this is misinformation being spread, and it's especially frustrating to have it come from a larger channel like this. And again, I usually like this guy's content since he comes off as very informative. But this short of his just screams of media illiteracy, and that's a damn shame, because I know he's better than that going off his other content.
You're better than that!
Anyways, I'm gonna go return to my coffin until I feel like coming out of it to make another video. I suck at ending these things. So yeah, have a fun day, everyone.